saying like,
About the homegirl that helped put your show on.
yeah, man, she put so much on and put me on so many emphasis of growth,
Right.
and I didn't even have to give her that much of me for that to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so I just started holding other people on that level, right? And then I realized that people I've been knowing for years can't even keep up with just a few actions. Years worth of friendship down the drain because it doesn't amount to shit but just small talk. Right? Like
Yeah.
what makes a friendship meaningful?
It's interesting because I've. Was that me or was that you?
That was you. It's the no, that was the was that the light? Look, turn around.
Yeah, that was a light. Fuck. All right. Anyway, I've reached that point, a similar point, because certain friends are further along in their lives than I am. Because again, I've just been stumbling and learning along the way, so I haven't hit the milestones that a person that at my age should have by now. But
Right.
so sometimes when it comes to hanging out, I want to, but the voice in my head is like, you still got some more work to do. So I don't think that hanging out would be conducive to you, to where you're at right now. Even though I want to, and then I just end up feeling guilty because of it. So I was like, man, I shouldn't have to feel like this. But at the same time, I don't know if it's just like unnecessary pressure or measure that I'm putting on myself.
It's unnecessary pressure, bro.
Mm,
We're in a time now where everything's changed.
mm-hmm,
You know what I'm saying? Um, the pandemic, in a sense, kind of changed the very paradigm in which we were living, right?
mm-hmm,
Where motherfuckers was working 40 hours a week. Motherfuckers, the only thing they could think about was going home and going to work, saving up for that little vacation time. They go, they party, they drink, they procreate, and they repeat the cycle.
right,
Because we didn't have any other time to do anything outside of that shit, right?
right.
And then all of a sudden, we get told to stay in the house and not to leave the said house, right?
Mm-hmm.
For almost 2 years, low key. A lot of people stayed in the house almost 2 years, 2000 and 2021.
I don't understand how, dude. I was going crazy in just those first 3 months, man. I was going
Shit,
stir crazy as shit,
I was not.
man.
I was not, bro. Because when it happened, the
Well,
day,
yeah. I mean, when it happened, sure, it was like it was uncertain. I was like worried, like everybody else. But after a while, it's just like started going crazy. I was starting like going into myself. I was like, what's happening?
that's when I started just doubling down on me, bro. Like low key, like
Mm.
as uncertain as it was, I ain't never had that much free time. Where it was the first time I didn't have that feeling you was talking about of needing to do something because regardless of what position in my life I was in during the pandemic, everybody was in the same shoes of uncertainty.
Right.
I would even argue we're still in the same shoes of uncertainty now.
I mean, just because we're back to normal, I still in the back of my head like, man, this shit could all go sideways in the next fucking day. If
I
we don't.
mean, right? It's
So
just
it's
like,
like,
whew. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no. It's just that. It's just like a sigh of uncertainty. It's just like, man, what the fuck? Like, need to do something else or just put in the work that I've been uncertain or
It's not about uncertainty,
no no no
man.
no. It's uncertainty in the sense that
Hmm?
I feel like an imposter when it comes to certain things that I do.
Yeah.
So that's what I mean when I'm talking about uncertainty. It's just like I'm playing pretend, but it's just like, are you? Because I've always felt a bit more on the creative side, and I felt like I was stifled when I tried to apply that in the academically
Yeah.
in the academic sense. So it's
Hmm.
just like I'm fucking miserable in this. Like let me try this approach, and it's just been a bit more beneficial. So it's just been getting accustomed to just used to this new path that you say I've been walking. So it's just
It's not an easy path because it's not a path no one necessarily tells you to walk. It's one of those things.
especially coming from being a kid of immigrants. It's just like, no, you need a steady job that's reliable, that has this, that has that, etc.
Speaking of which, right,
Uh,
that kind of segues into what I wanted to talk about, right?
all right.
Like, because the thing is like yesterday we were talking about mainly about our mental plights and stuff like that. Let's talk about where all of that stemmed from, right?
Okay.
Like we kind of went in deep last time to kind of dive deep on the insecurities and stuff like that. Like
Yeah.
I got a little personal, got a little vulnerable to let people know that it kind of tumbles, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I'm gonna start further back, right? You said you came from a family of immigrants. There were high expectations, right?
Yeah.
So my question is like, is the expectations based off what the American dream, quote unquote, could offer you versus where they came from, or is it based off of something else?
It's gonna be more the former, the first, the expectations of what USA, what it offers.
So they were also chasing the American dream, and they wanted you to get the most of it.
Yeah, because my parents, they didn't get to fucking middle school. Like they barely finished elementary school and hit the fucking working force when they weren't even teens or as they were getting into their teen years, Like,
Right,
and I'm not
right.
talking late teens. I'm talking like early tween years, like 12,
Yeah.
13, that type of shit.
Mm-hmm.
So they're approaching it from like, I didn't get an opportunity to experience high school, motherfucker. So you're going to make the most of this. Well, they didn't use that kind of language, but that was like the sternness that they were like viewing this through.
Yeah, man, be like that.
So, and my brain being the way it is, like I'd always get hung up on certain aspects of problems, be it mathematical, because that's the one that I had like the most trouble grasping.
Right.
Well, not grasping, but just like executing. It's just like I get hung up on one detail instead of focusing on the bigger picture.
Okay.
So that I don't know if they recognize that or they just were like the teachers weren't taking their time with me. But
Yeah.
after a while, they were just gonna be like, "Oh, he's a lost cause." So that's why I had this fucked up sense of self-worth when it came to my scholastic responsibilities.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's not that I didn't want to do good in school. Like I still want to make my parents proud, regardless of what I'm doing. Like,
Yeah.
because I'm not going to college. Like I tried to go back. It just
Yeah,
it's
man.
not for me. I'm not downplaying it. I know a lot of people thrive in it. Maybe like that's the other thing too. Is just like I wonder a lot if my parents hadn't like if my mom decided to stay with my pops instead of splitting because she felt that it was the best for me. Um, I often wonder like what it would have been like if she had stayed with him, and if we still took the hits, being like dealing with my dad's issues and how it was affecting the home life. Like I've been thinking about that a lot lately. It's just like fuck, would I have came out on the other side of it still just as messed up, or was was my mom leaving my dad like the better option? And I kind of been wanting to ask my mom about that too. Like it's a thought that's recently popped in my mind, and I don't know.
Right.
I don't know if like
Does it make you feel some kind of way towards your mother?
no, because I know that she was doing it for my best interest. It sucked.
I
Like
get that, but you still got these tantalizing thoughts of wow, like
mhm.
maybe if my dad was in my life, maybe I'd have been. There's a lot of what if in your tone.
Yeah, and it's not that I don't want people to misunderstand me. Like my dad was present, like he was always there,
Right.
but in the same sense, he was also always there when he was at his worst.
Right.
And I'm not supposed like kids aren't supposed to see their parents in a certain way, in a negative
Yeah.
way, because then it fucks with like for me personally, it's just like I know you're my dad, but I don't know this.
Yeah.
I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'm like wondering a lot is just like what if we would have stayed and like we would have continued living seeing that like or if like maybe she would have reached a breaking point and given him an ultimatum and maybe he would have like made the decision to actually seek help to like kind of sort through all this. I don't know. So and I'm not holding it against her because
But then it begs the question: how patient is a woman supposed to be, right?
right.
But that's for later.
Well,
You know.
that's the thing though. It's you're only gonna get so much patience out of your mother. I mean, cause
I'm not speaking on that end. I'm saying how much patience was she gonna give
Mhm.
her husband?
Oh yeah, okay, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you looking at it from the lens of a child, which I get,
Mm-hmm.
because the way his absence affected you differently than his absence affected your mom. It might have been better for her not having him around because as a husband he wasn't doing his job, but to you that was your dad. Yeah,
Yeah.
you saw some things, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm not trying to tell you what I'm just trying to,
Mm-hmm.
sift through this, like trying to really understand what you mean or trying to understand these feelings.
Yeah, and so there's no like feelings of resentment or anger, like none of that shit towards my mom.
Yeah, yeah,
It's never been that. I'll more annoying when it came to the religion thing, but that's like a whole other.
yeah.
Yeah. So, um, and I'm not over here gonna be like, I'm not gonna like throw that shit in my parents' face either. So I'm just trying to navigate it on my own and just trying to.
Come to terms.
Yeah, not come. I don't know if it's just come to terms. It's just like, or maybe I should just like leave that shit alone and not even worry about it. Like maybe it's like resources I'm wasting on something that shouldn't even be bothering
Nah,
me.
because it's just like it's not like it's small talk. This is not something that's trivial. This is
True.
something that
True.
that in a sense has shaped you to be the man that you are today.
I'm
For
still
better,
working through.
for better or worse, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's okay to sift through it. Like, me, I've been sifting through my own shit, right?
Right.
I grew up as a child, you know what I'm saying, being talked about bad.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then my dad, he was a good dad, but he was a terrible husband. He wasn't home all the time and shit.
Mm-hmm.
My mom was working all the fucking time. So she was always tired. So, it was a fragile tightrope. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And at any moment it could have been your situation, right? It's just it so happened to be just enough to keep them together long enough for me to have a childhood. So it wasn't good all the way through at home, but it was stable enough for me to maintain my livelihood. I would say a lot of my shortcomings came from school, man, because they not only gave up on me, but like at the time, I used to get talked about. The Columbine shit started happening. You know what I'm
Dude,
saying?
that shit was so uneasy. Like when that first happened, man, I was just,
Yeah.
oh man.
And the shit was trash because like at the time they didn't get on the people doing the talking about and the bullying. They got on the kids who got talked about because they were like they treated the kids who got talked about like ticking time bombs.
Mm-hmm.
So Elliott Middle School rounded up all the kids who were profiled as high risk on that, and I entered the building because I got talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Never fired a gun in my life. Never didn't know anybody with a gun. You know what I'm saying? But I was on this list for my whole middle school.
Showed no interest of as a gun
The,
enthusiast.
the only thing that put me at a risk was because I got talked about.
By who?
Kids and teachers. Like it used to be bad, bro. But like I was chilling. I didn't give a fuck because I used to be mean.
Right.
I'm an asshole. So
Even back then.
yeah, I was like, you're adopted, bro. Who cares? Like, you know what I'm saying? Your dad's having an affair. Like I was that nigga. Like I didn't care, bro. Like, bro, you're shitty people. I'm better than you. But I'm learning now that wasn't right, and it's still not right.
Yeah.
But like a lot of the times when I be like I'm on some better than you shit, it's an inferiority complex, bro. Cause I came from a lot of shit, bro. I've been homeless. I've been place to place before. I've had stability.
Mm-hmm.
I've had family. I've had my family broken up. You know what I'm saying? I've had people antagonize me. I've had all kinds of shit happen. But at the end of the day, I don't regret it. I don't shy from it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Because I can get mad at the things that I didn't do, right?
Right.
But there's people who are dead now who I considered better men of yesterday. But they playbook didn't bring them to 2023, right?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Something about me got me here. For better or worse, I'm here talk right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that goes to the person of yesterday, flaws and all.
Right.
The shit that we trying to improve from, the shit that we were doing, that was back then. But it got us here now.
I trip out on that because I hear about survivor's guilt.
Yeah.
And I never served in the military, like just it never sat right with me.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't look down on people that do because that's like you're literally giving yourself up to a whole ass cause that just
That's not your own?
yes. And you're literally you could be sacrificing yourself, period.
I mean, you do
And-
that shit every day.
True.
On every level, right? Like me as a black dude, right?
Right.
I could be like, they benefit off of me on any kind of level.
Mm-hmm.
If I become a rapper, if I go to jail, if I join the military,
If you become an athlete.
if I, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't matter what I become. Uncle Sam benefits off of me and uses what I do to exploit others,
Right.
right? But I still gotta live.
Yeah.
At the time I didn't know I had any kind of rapping like that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not an athlete. School wasn't really like school. Bro, it ain't like school wasn't my thing, but I had the same thing as you, bro. Nobody really gave a fuck about me. I wasn't popular enough for the other parents to notice me, but I had too much going. I kept popping off at the mouth, so the lesser ones wasn't trying to deal with me. So it was, at that point, they just kind of let me be.
Yeah.
So I made my own path, bro. Like I was like, bro, either I'm gonna be out here making babies without no plan, going to college and just dropping out without no plan, move to Gary, Indiana without no plan, or I can do some shit with the plan. And it's like the Navy had a plan. Like, yeah, okay, I gotta serve the white man's war, but what was I doing before the white man's war? In a gang ridden environment, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I just had to choose my war, my battlefield at that point.
So how long did you entertain the notion of joining the military before you actually joined? Like, how'd you reach that conclusion to go there?
Well, my brothers joined,
Okay.
and they were doing that shit. And
Were they both Navy as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was gonna go to the Air Force,
Okay.
but like it was just at the time that what really was pushing me at the time though, niggas was dying. I was at that point I was going to continuation school. I didn't give a fuck about school. I didn't give a fuck about higher education because I just didn't care. Like it wasn't because I wasn't smart. I just didn't feel like it was getting me anywhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not like I wasn't like on no snowfall shit. Like I want to sell dope. It's
Yeah.
just I didn't feel like I could do what I wanted to do. I didn't feel like I could express myself through education. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I feel like I had to follow a system. I couldn't be me. And so I just said fuck it. But then but I still needed to make a decision for myself because it was either the Navy or kind of low key Oblivion.
Oblivion.
Low key, like what is a black man in America without a GED gonna do outside of Alliance Security?
Man.
Real shit.
Yeah.
Real shit. Like there's walls, bro. There's peaks, bro. You know what I'm saying? And I knew that much. I knew that like college. I knew a college degree was like gatekeeping. So I joined the Navy to kind of circumvent that shit. Cause like 12 years of experience in the military, depending on the job, can equate to a bachelor's degree. You know, even though I only did 4 years, but
Yeah.
I'm just saying, bro.
Yeah. So, yeah, I just been thinking about, like you said, all the homies and people from yesterday that aren't here today, and I'm just like, it's just weighs on my mind a lot more. It's just like keep going with what you're doing. Like don't feel bad because you're still here and they're not. Like you're still here for a reason. So just everything that you do, like bring a little bit of your people that aren't here with you and fucking see it through to the end for them and fucking for yourself as well.
Like you got to look at everybody's life like a dish you can't really see them cooking. You smell it. Hell, you probably sometimes take a peek, right? But you don't know every ingredient.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And some meals are nourishing. Some meals might kill you, bro.
Yeah.
Literally, right?
Yeah.
Like, so don't you know, like you get tired. Like if you eat, you know why people don't like eating their own food? Because no matter how you cook it, it's still gonna taste the same because it's by your hand, right? People don't like tasting their own cooking because it just doesn't. You know what I'm saying? Because it's you. That's why people like going out to eat, because you're not just eating food, you're eating someone else's expression of the food.
True.
Like life.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So niggas got on motherfucking, people express themselves like they would express themselves in the kitchen, man. And sometimes it can get you killed. Some niggas play with them puffer fish and do a wrong cut. And
That's true. Someone ends up getting that poison.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody,
Yeah.
Don't do the cut quite right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Shout out to The Simpsons.
Shout out to The Simpsons. You know what I'm saying? it's just a matter of perspective, right? And as a kid, it's the same thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's the same shit. We all cooking. We all, you know, I know,
Learning to cook.
right?
Yeah.
The homie didn't wear a seatbelt. He didn't cook right. That's a wrap, right? That man,
Yeah.
and I consider that man a better man than me to this day. But it took one mistake, an honest mistake. It wasn't like he was a bad kid. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't know any better.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't cook right. You know what I mean? It's just as simple as that, right?
Right.
Fast forward, the cousin of mine playing with firearm. That's you're not cooking right, costing. It's just a matter, and you know, it's just certain shit I wouldn't do in my own personal life. And this is not me knocking the ones that's falling. It's just examples I can give that just there's certain things that they putting in they dish that you not quite putting in yours.
Yeah.
You know, it may not taste the best for you because you used to your own dish, but appreciate the quality of the food that's gotten you this far, called your life. Cause shit, man, I done been jumped. You know, I done had a gun in my head. I done had a gun to my head a couple of times. I done you know, just all kinds of crazy shit, bro. But I know that at the end of the day, like, I had my own dish to cook. I didn't give a fuck about all that shit. Like, yeah, it sucked. Yeah, I wanted to be a part at one point, but I knew I wanted more out of my own personal life, and I didn't care how I got there.
Right.
Like, the Navy wasn't something that I was waking up every day getting ready for. It was an option in my face. They said I was smart enough to do it, and I took the opportunity.
Okay.
I was like, your boy can make it. If your boy can make a legitimate quantum leap of faith and make a significant change, that, you know what I mean, kind of get shit going. Fuck it.
Hey, so were there levels to your after you enlisted to, like, I'm definitely not in Pasadena anymore, or was it just like one?
Nah, that shit happened to me when the first day I was going to boot camp, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, cause I walked around Pasadena for a little bit. Cause at that point my parents wasn't out there. Nobody was really out there. Everybody kind of was going to their own thing. And that was my last day before they flew me off to Chicago. So I walked around, just kind of looked at things, and then I took the bus to LAX. No, I went to PCC, I'm sorry, across the street where the recruiting office used to be.
Right.
And they drove us to LAX.
Okay.
To the Wilton. And that's when I realized, oh, shit.
Like, you're actually doing it.
Yeah, I was like, nigga, I don't know if I told you this story the last time. Did I tell you this story the last time?
I don't think so.
Okay, I'll make sure, because sometimes I be telling this story sometimes, so, you know, but I realized that was the first time I've ever flown. Ever. That day, when I was going to boot camp. I was like, damn, I've never flown before.
No shit.
Yeah, so, yeah. Go ahead.
So first time you're
tripping. So yeah, man, and then I'm sober as a gopher. I'm having to really do that shit, bro. So I took it with stride. I tried to pretend I was asleep, but nah, I felt every bit of that flight. And that's when I realized I'm not in Pasadena anymore, because it was one of those things where everything that followed that flight was a first. You know what I'm saying?
Was it a rough flight?
Huh?
Was it a rough flight?
Not really. It was.
Okay.
It was just it was no turbulence or nothing. It was a first. You know, I really had to hold my demeanor and shit, and really kind of hold face, because honestly, my parents, my mom, the highest education in my family is my mom. With you know, and then my dad, he didn't even get out of high school with his shit, right? And so, you know, I would just say, like, I tried my best with what I had, bro. You know, I know I could have did more. It's just, you know, you try to do all that and try to keep A's and B's, and motherfuckers looking at you as a problem child. The system, you know what I'm saying? Not my parents, but the system.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Then you got these bitches lying on you. to your parents and shit. And then it's just,
It's just a whole fucking
right, like
mess, a stew to get back
right.
to cooking of bullshit.
I just refused to be that fool. I wasn't gonna be. I just didn't want to go out like that sucker.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't gonna go out and be that bitch, bro. I'm not nobody's shuttle boy or none of that shit. That's why I'm good now. You know what I'm saying? Because like everybody swear I got the short end of the stick, but the nigga still chilling.
Yeah.
I done went to Egypt. I'm trying to leave the country again. I've been traveling the world. I do me, bro. Like because you got to stay true to yourself, bro. True to the person who got you this far. Like I don't give a fuck what people feel about me, bro. I give a fuck about what I've been through, bro. Because at the end of the day, that's who I gotta count on. Like you know what I'm saying. So yeah, like as far and with your mental, that's how you protect your mental for real, for real. You gotta give yourself more credit, bro. Instead of the things that you've done wrong, again, I suggest that you kind of consider the dish that you've been making so far to get you here. That's it.
And I've been doing my best to be a lot more present and aware of that fact. To be more I don't want to say grateful, I should say, because like you were saying before we started recording, that like doing all this, putting all this work into yourself to better yourself is not easy, because the minute that you think, oh, at least what I learned is just like I scratched off and got like deeper, or I felt like I was peeling back layers and discovering more and feeling like I was like, yeah, I'm making progress. I was like, nope. Because when I thought I was making progress, it would just uncover something else that was hindering me. So it was just like, fuck, man, have I been a mess this long? And it's just like, was I not aware of it, or was I just so, even then as a young adult, still in denial about certain things that I wasn't willing or wasn't ready to?
Well, our parents didn't give us everything we needed to know, bro. Like, let's be real, bro. Like, it wasn't like we had the gold standards of parents when it came to like doing the step by step on how to be a successful person. We're not byproducts of nepotism.
Well, in that sense, no. But my mom, she did her best. Like up to, again, like everything was great up to the divorce.
I'm not. That's not what I'm talking about.
Okay, gotcha.
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having an example, a step by step of education and prestige and just what I'm saying, W's and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now my mom did her best. My mom had her college degree. My mom has her certifications and stuff like that, and she's a cosmetologist and stuff like that. Like my mom set the standard as a woman, but I'm not a woman, as you can see, right? We're not women, right? I'm just saying the gold standard. I'm talking about the gold standard as a man.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like at the end of the day, my dad wasn't the valedictorian type shit. Now my dad, he was a gymnast, and he was a diver, in high school and shit like that. But other things, just there's Rusty.
You ain't never took tumbling?
Huh?
You ain't never took tumbling?
Like I'm flexible and shit, but nobody really took interest in me in any kind of way like that. I just kind of be real with you. I stayed to myself, play video games, and was into writing poetry here and there. But as far as like music and anything that would like kind of put me out there in a sense to explore myself as a person, nobody really took interest in that. You know what I'm saying? My dad was doing his own thing. My mom was too busy, and the schools and the system didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
My brothers, they gave a fuck. They was twins, so yeah, they got that. And then my sister, she got the love, but like me, I kind of fell in the cracks. Niggas wasn't trying. Nobody was really trying to help me.
Were you the last child?
I was the middle child.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There we go. That makes a lot of sense.
You know what I'm saying? So I just did my own shit. You know what I'm saying? As far as like my parents try to put me in shit, but it just kind of, it's like, it's one thing for that, oh, we believed in you. It's like, but did the system that you put me in believe in me? Like,
oh, thank you for reiterating that, because I would still try to bring along that belief and that self-confidence that my parents instilled in me to help get me through the system that I was being run through.
Yeah.
But I didn't have the it would get eroded. I don't know why I would let it get eroded because it's just like I would keep trying putting my best foot forward, blah blah blah, and it's just little by little I felt like I got defeated, even though like my parents were the only ones like egging me on and believing in me, and I couldn't vocalize it, or I as a kid, it'd be like, I know you guys believe in me, but they don't, and that takes away from me wanting to do my best, even though they would say keep doing your best, you gotta keep working harder, etc.
Yeah.
But I would get discouraged because it's like, why, like to my teachers after a certain point, it's like, why don't you recognize it? Why don't you see it?
And it's just like at that point, I got tired of people telling me to see something that I couldn't see. Everybody was telling me, you need to be a man now and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, bro, I'm a kid, dog. Like, I'm trying to figure this shit out. And then and then you want me to figure out my own purpose when this motherfucker's 10, 20, 30, 40 people waiting to try to square up with me. Where y'all at with that? Where y'all at when these niggas got guns to my head? Where y'all at with that? Where y'all at when I got to learn these gang etiquettes? Where are y'all at with that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Where y'all at when I got to defend my sisters? You know what I'm saying? These are the things they didn't account. They didn't want to account for. They want to just say I just wasn't paying attention hard enough. I wasn't doing shit hard enough. But we out here got to survive these dumbass streets with these dumbass niggas who was dying every day. You know what I'm saying? Selling dope, killing niggas. You know what I'm saying? And it just brought another level of stress and another level of worry, another level of caution that the adults really didn't see. You know what I'm saying? Because you also, it's what like you could just snitch on niggas. Either you had to handle shit yourself, bro. You had to really handle shit yourself.
Yeah.
Or you suffer consequences that could
Dire consequences.
You know what I mean, bro?
Yeah.
Like it was we dealing with parents, school, and then the streets. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I'm saying? Like I think I did good for what it was worth. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna just say it like this. I wasn't in an environment to learn. I was in an environment to survive. You know what I'm saying? So when I joined the Navy, it just seemed like an easy choice because that's all I knew. Is surviving.
True. And from what I hear, it's just like they don't want you to think about your feelings. They just want you to like carry out whatever you got to carry out.
Yeah, man.
So that also puts you like in another weird state of mind, I should say.
And then you got, and I couldn't really express myself. I like Pokemon cards. I like Yu-Gi-Oh cards and stuff like that, right?
Right.
And then there's motherfuckers who gangbang in the church and shit, but they gonna start saying shit about Yu-Gi-Oh and Pokemon being demonic. But these niggas is literally turning out y'all daughters. And you know what I'm saying? And selling drugs in the community and shit. But you worried about my Pokemon cards. You worried about my video games. You worried about me in the house. You know what I'm saying? It just felt like every chance that the hood could, whether it be in church, at home, on the streets, in the Boys and Girls Club, motherfuckers was trying. It just felt like every scenario was challenging my childhood. And I just, it was whack because it was either gang banging, fast ass females, you know what I'm saying, drugs, you know what I'm saying, and I'm just trying to be a Pokemon master. You know what I'm saying? I'm just trying
take down Kaiba.
You know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be over 9,000 in this hole. I'm trying to be a Digidestined. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like they out here bugging, talking about like bro, like I'm trying to max. Yo, that was my goal. It was a goal of mine. Like I had to fight for my childhood, bro, and I'll never not stop saying that, bro, because I was gonna do me. You know, I wanted to just enjoy life, bro, but like. And that's what kept me going. Like I could have, like my parents were kind of upset I wasn't really doing nothing with my life, right? Because I wasn't. I was ditching my ass off, bro. I said fuck school after a while because of some bullshit that happened to me. You know, so I wasn't really on no education path. I wasn't on no path. My 11th, 12th grade year, I just was a dropout, just doing some chilling shit. Only reason why I decided to, only reason what got me out of that was because of the military for it too. So, you know, because I could have finished. I only had like 2 more classes, but I didn't give a fuck at that point because everything was kind of going to shit. There was really no stability at the time.
Mm-hmm.
It was just like, so, and then the Navy was like, hey, if you score a certain thing, you can go in the Navy and take the GED test there. So I took that shit and passed, and so I never had to look back on that hoe.
Wow.
Yeah, man. Like, I didn't. It was like I wasn't really the fastest. I was more of a hands-on learner anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So school was not really something I could do. I couldn't. It was just too hands-off. It was just too much. Do it at home, and I still don't understand type shit. Like,
I gotcha.
Nobody was trying to explain. That's why for me, the best. I would say the best time. The best time I had my best education process was at Rose City.
Wow.
Yeah.
Of all places.
Mm-hmm. Because the classes were smaller,
Right.
you know, and the classes were shorter, you know, and which gave a lot more time where I can go in between classes and talk with the teachers too. They had more tutoring programs there. I wish I would have stayed. Like, it was just it was more smaller. It was way more personal. I was able to really have better engagement at Rose City versus going to PHS. It's like 30, 40 students a class and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, you got 10 motherfuckers waiting for the same teacher and shit. And, you know, and if they really they don't really give a fuck about any of that shit because they got 10 other students in the next class and shit.
Exactly.
So
They're on the verge of having a fucking embolism.
Right. So I just kind of fell off the map when I went to PHS, bro. Like, I would say if I had any regret, that was my regret, is leaving Rose City. I wish I would have did my whole high school. If I'd have did my whole high school thing in Rose City, I'd have went to college. I'd have went straight to college. I wouldn't even have did all that shit. I shouldn't have left Rose City. You know. Like,
Speaking of college, if you would have, do you have a major you would have
I would have went for law at that time.
Oh, wow. What aspect of law? Like,
I wanted to get into like criminal defense. You know, I wanted to start my own firm in criminal defense. You know, like at this time, this is before, you know, because like Johnny Cochran inspired me. You know what I'm saying?
oh, okay.
Because at that time, he convinced an entire white jury that O.J. Simpson didn't kill those two people and shit. And it was like, at that time growing up, you know, seeing from parents and, you know, like, an all-white jury is pretty much a strike. You know, strike, you're out. You know, it's an automatic out. You know what I mean? You know, it's a dead man walking. You know, niggas don't survive those kind of scenarios. You know what I'm saying? Where you got an all-white jury and shit. And that's exactly what the fuck happened in L.A.
Yeah.
You know, he was accused not just killing a white woman, but a white dude and a white woman, bro.
In Brentwood, of all places.
Right. And this black man was able to convince their peers, those dead people's peers, that this black man didn't do it. Like, you think about that, bro. He convinced a white, like the late, I don't even remember those two people's names.
Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman.
Nicole Simpson and Ron Goldman's peers. He convinced their peers that black man, that outsider, did not do that shit, bro. It wasn't like
had him wearing the glove and everything.
My question is to you though: do you think he would have been guilty if it was an all-black jury?
They wouldn't have given him an all-black jury.
Honestly. I'm just saying. Humor, like,
okay, so humoring you, no, they wouldn't have found him guilty.
You don't think so?
No.
What?
Because that was a lot of people. They still don't think that he killed them.
I get that, but like, if you think about the whole parameters, right?
They
like,
also
the prosecution, right?
Okay.
Was black. The dude was black, and there's Johnny Cochran, right?
Yeah.
So now you got two black lawyers trying to convince Ron Goldman and Jessica Simpson's peers, my nigga, that one.
Nicole.
So now I feel like Johnny Cochran hit the right notes for the white folks. You know what I'm saying? Whereas, you know, the prosecutor didn't know how to, you know, rub his shoulder. But now, mind you.
Chris Darden. There we go.
Right. But what if?
What if he did?
No, what if they had to argue this same shit to a black jury, bro? You don't think Johnny Cochran wouldn't sound like snake oil to a black jury? Like, man, he full of shit, bro. If the glove doesn't fit, you must have quit. Like, white folks was like, ooh, that's jazzy. Like, bro,
He made it rhyme.
you know what I mean? Like, imagine if it was an all black jury, bro. Like, this nigga is full of shit, bro. Like, get your snake oil ass off this fucking stand. Yo, they would get in his ass, bro. Like, I just don't think Johnny Cochran would have made. I don't think he would have won that case on an all-black jury. I ain't even gonna cap. I'm not even gonna cap. I was curious. I'm like, bro, because he was just smooth. He was just silky smooth with the white jury too. They was just like, he just couldn't possibly do it. Mm-hmm. He's the juice. Like with the juice, the glove doesn't fit, bro.
All right, so follow up then, because at the time there was a lot of racial tension because of the Rodney King beating. So, what if they would try and find him innocent, regardless of the case that they had presented, because the city officials were trying to like keep a fucking race riot, for less of a better term, from happening?
I mean, I don't. So you think that they pushed the narrative of innocence to quell social tensions brewing because of the Rodney King?
I'm not buying into it, but it's just like,
nah, I don't know. It could be, it could be, but I don't know, bro. I've never really thought that far. I've only thought on the parameters of like an all black jury, right?
It reminds me of the Boondocks episode when they were doing the R. Kelly trial.
Right, because they made the defendant white, but it was a safe call because people love R. Kelly and like people love R. Kelly. He the disgraced king of R&B. Like people loved him, but you can't forgive the atrocities of a man who do these crazy things, but my thing is that Kendrick Lamar in the Heart 5 said it best. Hurt people hurt people. Fuck calling when hurt people hurt more people. Fuck calling it culture. It's we live in because R. Kelly was doing all those atrocities, bro. Mm-hmm. However, he was a byproduct of those same atrocities by his by some rallies. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Hurt people hurt people. You know what I'm saying? So the only way we gonna break that cycle is acknowledging that, and that ain't no shout out to R. Kelly. Nah, it's not by no means. I don't support this nigga by no means. It's just a matter of, generational cycles that start from a young age. Now, I've never been, thank God, involved in any abuse of any kind from my family or no shit like that. The abuse came from the hood, came from the culture. That's where my abuse came from. Not being cool enough, not being gangster enough, not being too square on some kiddie shit, because I don't want to be hypersexual, hyper drugged, hyper this. You know what I'm saying? And every time I'm, you got to fit this mold and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? To be a black man, and it's like, why? You know what I'm saying? I want it to be me, bro. Like, that was the hardest thing to do. That's the hardest thing to do when you're growing up being black, is being an individual. Is being set apart when you're trying to do something different outside of what's going on.
Because a lot of people over here seeing black people as a monolith. It's just like,
well, no, I'm not even talking about other people. I'm talking about within that quote unquote monolith. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you in certain areas, they want to, like, whether you're in the suburbs or in the hood, like, the black people demand you to blend into that certain thing, whether it be in school or around, or they not gonna. It's just one of those things. Standing out as a black person is just because black people don't like attention. You know what I'm saying? Uh-huh. So from my observations, they don't like the attention. So they like the sameness, the oneness. They comfortable with what they have. And so when somebody acting weird, oh, you lame or this shit and it's that shit, it's like, bro, no, I'm just doing me. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, bro. I don't know about now. I don't have any gripes with the black community now. This is just my upbringing as a kid. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause now, cause that was when my parents and them were the arbiters of the black community. I am the arbiter my peers, the millennials, we're the arbiters now, you know.
Yeah.
We got kids and shit. Some of us got grandbabies. You know?
Yeah.
Shit. What you about to say?
No, you're just finishing up right quick on the hurt people. The victims that become the aggressors eventually, like. It's like, how do you stop the cycle when certain victims don't receive the help that's needed, or they run away from it because it's too much for them to handle, and they keep on perpetuating it as a, like, the self-awareness that is needed in order to stop the cycle from perpetuating is just like, how does...
Prune. Prune. Like pruning a flower.
Right.
Prune. And I mean that in every sense of the word. You know, that's the only real way is to prune. You know what I'm saying? Because we all entitled, and I'm not saying go murder people who don't follow certain aspects, but, you know, there's one part of Darwinism that kind of I can appreciate, right? Those who don't evolve die.
Oh, gotcha.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, we got to stop being so inclined to save people who don't want to be saved. You know what I'm saying? And we got to let go aspects that are too far gone. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's going to be people who want to live these lives that they live that is just not productive for a community that we're going to have to let go, which is family, friends, and otherwise. That's how generational curses break. By letting go. By cutting shit off. Like, not everybody can come. Not everybody can get apart. You know what I mean? Some people gotta be let go. Or you never gonna, or like those.
Drag you down with them.
Right, like, you know, them water leaves and shit.
Mm-hmm.
How they take so much nourishment from the main byproduct of the overall plant.
Right.
Killing the plant. You've seen them water leaves? They be looking beautiful and shit, but the whole plant just be looking dried up because it just be eating, wasting the plant's potential. You know, it's supposed to exist because it's there, because it was grown from the same thing, but it's producing nothing. But you got to let it be there because why?
Shit, dude. No, you're right.
That's all I'm saying. Like, I don't know if I'm right. I'm just saying I just feel like, in my personal opinion, the only way we're going to break the generational cycles is by cutting motherfuckers off. You know, like, my thing is that not all skin folk is kin folk anymore. Like, in my opinion, can only speak on the black community. Not all black is black.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, it used to be a time where it was like, I'm blacker than black. Well, my skin say I'm black. No more to me, at least to me personally.
Mm-hmm.
Your skin color does not constitute your blackness to me no more. You know, it's your willingness to contribute to that said blackness. Okay, you black, but what do you do to empower that said blackness?
Mm-hmm.
Right? What are you doing to help others that's in that same code of conduct as you were being black? Are you helping to improve the situation of being said black? Because it's just a lot of motherfuckers just being black to be black.
Yeah. I remember we were talking about this last week before we started too.
Right. Yeah, man. Like, fuck all that shit, man. It's a mental I'm saying it like that because I can't speak on Italian men. I can't speak on white men. I can't speak on any other man except a black man when it comes to mental health.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? If it so happens to, you know, resonate with anybody else, this is not me saying that this is something that exclusively happens to black people, right?
True.
I'm only speaking on my experience as the black experience. So when you hear what I'm saying, don't look at it as me letting people out, but it's just a lens through my eyes as how I see the black community. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? And I love my community, but, you know, I feel like we just
sometimes don't love you.
It's not. I don't even care if it don't love me, bro. Like, I don't really care. Mm-hmm. Because I don't care if my people don't love me, because you want to know something? I am the people just as much as the people is the people.
Okay.
So, so I don't need their acceptance. I don't need to be accepted into something that I am. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean by really accounting for your blackness, right? Like I empower myself every day by seeking out my purpose, by spreading wisdom, by trying every ability that I can bring to myself. I ain't got no degree, but you won't see me not trying to do something a bit better myself as a black man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what I mean. I'm not out here telling you to stand on a pulpit and say I have a dream. I'm just saying, you know what I mean?
No,
Just
yeah.
just use the very fundamental things God give you. You know what I'm saying?
Use your gifts. Come over here and better yourself. That's true. It's just there was up until a few years ago there was I felt guilty I don't want to say guilty, ashamed. I felt like the gifts that have been bestowed upon me, as odd as that sounds to some people, I wasn't utilizing them to their full potential. I felt like, again, imposter syndrome. It's just like, why was I given this? Like, why? Because I had like this crappy sense of self-worth that it's just like, I feel like this, so I feel like I shouldn't use these gifts that have been given to me. You know, like I'm not worthy of them. And I was just coming over here and hindering myself. So it's just like, even to the people out there that are watching, listening, whatever, like if you do feel that if you notice that you have some skills, abilities, whatever that can help you get forward in life, fucking to take advantage of them and better yourself and build a better life for yourself, and share it with people that you know that appreciate what you do for them, for yourself, and just keep on living, man.
You heard it from him first.
Shit. Otherwise, you're just gonna be rudderless.
You heard it from here first, man. Just keep. You gotta stay true. You gotta stay committed to your personal truths first and foremost. You know, and it doesn't start in the middle. It doesn't start tomorrow. It starts in the past. You work your way from the past. I'm sorry, I got the hiccups.
You're right there. But yeah, you gotta find out where it all began, and then just start chipping it away. I mean, it's gonna take time. Like this, to get to where myself, I'm at right now. It's been at least coming up on a decade, and it's still gonna keep on going from there. I mean, I don't know how long, because who the fuck knows how? I don't know how long I'm gonna be here.
You know,
but I'm still, like Petty said, living my truth, so I could just make the best of this life.
right. You just got to accumulate everything that you had in the past, the things you don't look at, the things that you consider not a part of you. Is a part of you, right?
Yeah.
People call it shadow work. You know what I'm saying? The things that we don't want to look at, it manifests in so many ways when you try to ignore it. So I suggest just going to your past and really looking at it, because it's nothing to be ashamed of, because like I said before, it's your past is the accumulation of what you've been cooking so far to get you here. You know what I'm saying? So once you come to terms with the way you got here, you can be better involved in the present. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's as a man, that's our prime. That's where we thrive the best, in the present, in the now. Where
Not
we
worrying about bullshit that's not happening at that moment.
right. That is not where we thrive. We thrive in the now. We thrive in the present. We thrive in in the things that drives us in the moments.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
Like I would argue that a lot of the times we're told to have these deadlines, have these expectations, have these conditional meanings to our lives that have been imposed on us by our family, friends, and loved ones sometimes, that we forget that we're the arbiters of our own lives, yo. You know what I'm saying? I found out, like you really find out when you put yourself out there in a way that you don't expect. Like me, I expected, because like even when I went to the military, I was going to go to college because I was going to get the GI Bill and do that shit.
Right.
It didn't work out, bro, because I realized I hate that shit. Like, I realized I hate that shit so much, bro. Like I realized, wow, you really couldn't pay me to do this shit. Oh my God, bro. I was like, yo, like niggas is literally paying me to go to school, bro. And I hated that shit, bro, to the point I'm like, fuck school, bro. I could still go back if I do certain things, like get things right, but I just don't have it in myself. I just don't. Cause it's like it goes back to how I felt growing up. I feel like I'm fighting a system. I don't feel like I can learn. I don't feel like I'm learning the way I can learn that best suits my needs,
Right.
or I'm being taught. I just don't care for the way they teach. I don't care for school. I care for the hands-on approach when it comes to learning. So fuck school, bro. It can't pay me, dog. Like, and this is no shit. This is not me shitting on people with educations, because there's plenty of people out here who are way vastly more qualified than me in so many aspects of life because of it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Definitely.
And that's cool, and I respect it and shout out, because we need that shit, right? But does that have to be me? You know what I mean?
We've already learned that's not you.
Did that have to be me?
What?
Does it still have to be me? We live in a world of 8 billion people. I got to really do this shit. And there's motherfuckers who's more than happy to do it. You know what I'm saying? My parents didn't force me to want to be anything except the best that I can be.
Same.
You know what I mean? My dad was like, just, whether I'm a bank robber or an astronaut, be the best at it.
Why not be both?
I'm just trying to figure out what that means to me. What does it mean to be the best at what I pursue? You know what I'm saying? Because my other mantra is, you don't have to be great to do great things. I do great things all the time, bro. I really do. I do some really awesome stuff. But I don't find myself to be a man of renown. I'm not on no Drake level. I'm not on no Will Smith level. I'm not even on no fucking ass cross level,
You're no cuck either, so
but I'm sure no cuck, nigga. You got me fucked up, like I can't. You know what? I can't. I'ma stop.
Okay.
I'ma stop, because I'm not gonna judge people's kinks. You know what I'm saying?
True.
Like, honestly, for me, if you into that kind of shit, because I don't know motherfuckers, but I know that motherfuckers are into that, and probably it works for them. It's just, for me, it's triggering when I hear about that shit, because it's like I just could never see myself in that kind of position where I just allow that kind of behavior. You know what I'm saying? Nah, that's not where it's at. Yeah. But shout out to anybody who own that. That's your life. Like, I'm not out here trying to judge or kink shame and shit. I'm just out here just letting people know where my psyche is when it comes to cucking. That's just not where I'm at in life. Like, fuck to the nah, bro. I'd rather just be alone.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Why would I want to be with a girl who want to fuck another dude and still want to be with me?
Because also, like, when you get mixed up with people like that, like, you don't know what kind of drama is going to come your way.
That is not even where I'm talking about. Like, I don't even know what you're talking about. Are you talking about, you're talking about, okay.
Like,
that nigga call you.
Yeah, exactly. Or getting back to what you're saying earlier, like, you can get set up on some bullshit.
Yeah, bro.
So, like, that's a very valid reason why you shouldn't even go into that type of fucking scenario.
I wouldn't even see that kind of angle, bro. Like, I ain't never been invited to a couple before. You know what I'm saying? So that's the only way I can see myself even being remotely involved in that. Because if my girl ever was like, I don't think you're enough, we should bring someone else in, I'm like, bye, bitch. Like,
yeah, it's like, all right,
like,
go find you.
Right.
Go find your enough. Then.
Right. I'll go find enough. You know
I'll
what
be
I'm saying?
enough for the woman that appreciates.
Like, and this is no knock to the woman. It's just, I just see myself where that scenario is going to end, right?
Yeah.
On that level. So if cuckolding ever came into play, I'm definitely going to be invited into some shit like that, and I wouldn't do it. Like, that's just weird for me. I'm not, I'm not sharing no chick, bro. That's sharing, right?
Yeah.
That's definitely sharing, right?
Yeah.
I last time I checked, that's sharing, and sharing, and like I say, cause like I say on Fortnite, mi casa is not su casa. You know what I'm saying? Cause they just did the Attack on Titan, so that's my catchphrase. You know what I'm saying? I heard it before. I ain't gonna say that's my original catchphrase. Like I heard this shit on YouTube because you know YouTube be doing that shit.
Yeah.
And I heard "Mi casa is not su casa," and I was like, I'm using the fuck out of that shit, bro. I'm just saying.
Yeah, dude. But do you think we should start rapping, or you got anything else to say?
I'm Petty Rich.
I'm Mole Man.
It's Mo Man. This is The Road Less Taken, episode 2. You know what I'm saying? Please like and subscribe if that's a thing.
Do the things.
You
Tell
know
your
what I'm
people.
saying? Tell the people. Spread the word. You know, we all about men's mental health and beyond. We will see. Mo, you got anything you want to say to the peoples?
Thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting.
You heard the man. You heard it from him first, man. Thank you for dropping by and take it easy.
Yeah. Take it easy, y'all.
Yep.